Well, after the motor was set, this week, get ready. We started, Mike made a checklist. What do we need to do? Throttle and shift, water lift, fuel lines, you name it. You know, mount the gauges, stuff to get ready to run. And so we've already been trucking away on that. Up there, you can see the pedestal. We pulled out these 10-foot throttle and shifts and needed to, he ordered some 5-footers, stuff like that. We got things on the boat. So this week video is all about just getting the engine ready to run. Now that it's set, we're super happy, but there's a lot of things, details. So sit back and enjoy. So back in here, we say easy, you know, we needed 5-foot cables instead of 10-foot cables, but luckily everything was nice and clean up in here, not seized up. We actually had to disconnect one of these cables up in the pedestal. The only way that you can get the throttle and shift out of here after you take this little castle nut off is to actually take the chain loose and move it forward to make enough room. These Edsons are a real booger to get in there and work on. But nonetheless, we got her done and got them measured, so those new cables will be much appreciated. What's going on down there, Professor? You loving life with these cables?
Oh, God. I mean, yeah, 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
3 brackets. I think the 3rd time's the charm.
There you go.
Yeah. But I finally squeezed down inside, so I know I can make it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, this Edison pedestal and getting new cables that are the right length and all that fun stuff has turned out to be about a day's worth of work. But
we're still not right.
Well, the day isn't over. So there's down there. Mike had to build the. Trouble is that cable, with the way we engineered this, is ran right into the exhaust, and so we had to raise that up just you know, an inch or 2. But it's coming together. It's looking real nice. We got fuel lines starting to be routed. We got students cutting battery cables. Got a bunch of 2 gauge, what Beta recommends, so that'll be good. So Mike went to the hardware. One of the things he did, this Morse cable, 2 things. Had to come up, and it also had to move back. But because that water lift was there, he went and traded in those slotted screws at the hardware store for Allen's, and that was a game changer right there to be able to do those because they're nylocks, and to try and hold that backside slotted would have been a booger. Okay, let's see. After a whole day, click, doesn't hit anything. Click, doesn't hit anything.
So another thing we had to sort out was this exhaust system. We only had about 4 inches or less of fall with the stock elbow, which came down like this. Not enough. Trouble is, you can only buy 6 and 8 inch exhaust risers, and we needed 4 or 5. So we took one and cut it off and had it re-welded. And then, of course, we needed new pipe up here, so Mike got some nice factory hoses and a 90. So now we can clamp this up and get our new exhaust temperature alarm on. Got the exhaust hose dropping down into the water lift. So exhaust is just about done. Seawater intake here is coming, and we're getting ready to start this thing up. Gonna need some fluids, I suppose.
Other thing we did that we recommend is exhaust temperature alarm. Aqualarm. We did a tech tip with Giovanni, great former student, alumni, and so this just showed up on the front porch today. And so what we have here is probably the best alarm that you can put on your recreational diesel motor, and especially since it's new, we're adding this right here. So this comes with a really nice little panel which just tells us that we've provided power. It's activated, and then it's got a red light and a buzzer, says exhaust, and I'm going to give that to Mike, and he's going to find a nice little home for that. And then it comes with the switch, which just goes around the exhaust elbow, and we do this right in here. So as soon as the exhaust goes on, it's going to end up about right here. Got just enough for the exhaust pipe to go on. And the reason is, if you plug the sea basket, which is going to go right here, or you have a trouble with your impeller, which is on the front of the motor, love that. The first thing that happens, if you watch that tech tip, I closed my seacock with the engine running, and just halfway closed sounds the alarm, because when we reduce our cooling water here and put in this rubber hose, this is, you know, 600-700 degree exhaust gas. Without seawater, it gets hot right quick. And so this is the first alarm. The antifreeze in here, the closed loop, will not get more than, you know, if it's running at 180 degrees, this alarm will go off before that gets to 182 maybe. So perfect alarm. Thank you, Aqualarm. We'll put a link down in the bottom for that. So we're getting all these systems set up this week, and we're going to start that engine next week. That'll be a big day. Well, back in Mike's shop at some point in time before we ordered the Beta, he said, how about adding heat? Because that's an option. So we added the valves for heat. We got a new little heater right here, and we're going to put it right in the face of this seat, so it'll blow out nice warm air in the cabin when he's motoring. And those we're going with, from the talk we did down here on the boat with the batteries, those two super cyclers, which is going to gain 100 amp hours of storage, and two batteries. They fit right back in here side by side. Those will be here in a week. And then we're moving the start battery to the back next to the motor and the water lift to gain us the real estate for the heater. And I think that's a good trade. So
where the little high-low switch will go for the new heater. All fit in, looking good. Penny's going to be so happy. Little toe warmer when you're underway.
Yeah, keep the switch and the heater in the same place so we don't get mixed up.
Well, we're good at cutting holes in boats, that's for sure. Down in here, before we put the house batteries in, we needed access to run the heater hoses and a couple battery cables in the ground. So okay, time for plan B. Sea basket looks great, but Mike just realized, we are below water line here. And so in order to service this, the idea is you can service from sitting right here. You can't reach the valve back there. So even though that looks real good, we are going to go with plan B and get a shut-off valve right here so we can shut the seawater off to service the sea basket. So one more task to do before we can start this thing up.
Well, as part of our research project for Home Again, is we got the new Victron super cyclers, and they are rated at 125 20-hour rate. We just took them out of the box, gave them a charge, said they were charged, and according to our machines we got a little about 100 amp hours and 103. So we got a baseline. We're going to have Mike run them for the summer, and then every spring we're going to load test these two batteries again and just see how they do. I suspect it'd come up a little bit more if we did another charge discharge, but we don't have time. We got to put them in the boat. It's time to go sailing, but we have a baseline. Another project, along with dropping the engine in, now we're hooking it up. Got to be able to anchor the boat. So cleaned up, painted, looking good, Mike. Got it reinstalled. We'll bring that chain and anchor back in here in the next day or two. So right here, Mike is so ready. Built this in his shop. Got to put a little paint on there yet, and the tape left some sticky residue. We'll get some gooby gone, but yeah, this is modified, of course, because we bought the bigger panel with the gauges that we wanted, and so that's ready. We're gonna obviously need to put that in if we want to start the engine next week. So one more thing, check the box. Up in here, electrical update. We got the new batteries down in the shop. Those two batteries are going to set here really nicely. We just had to move the ACR, was on the wall here. We're just going to relocate it over to here, along with, and move this a little bit with our fuse block, but that's going to work out real nice. With the start battery moved back over here now, we got to run that cable up into here. So the cable, the positive will come through from the start battery up to here and then back, because Mike has one of these nice switches right here, which is just an on-off. It's a double pull, so it turns on and off both the start and the house at the same time, and it's got the emergency combined. So a little bit of extra cable, but that's okay. That way when we shut it off, we have a disconnect for it. So yeah, lots of fun happening next week. We're gonna hear this thing purr.
Well, Mike, what do you think? The motor's set. You're hooking up cables and stuff like that.
And it's turning out exactly what we had planned for, to have the motor exposed, the front end of the motor exposed right here where I can sit and service the oil change pump, which is on the starboard side. The oil filter is right here, right in front. Fuel filter is back over on the starboard side again. Very accessible. Get a wrench on it. Get a little bucket under it for overspill. Sea basket is right down here, just below the seawater pump. Faceplate looking right at me. You beta owners know what that's all about. Fuel manifold, bypass valves, filter, vacuum gauge on top, drain right there, yogurt container ready to go. I couldn't be more pleased to have everything that I need to service to keep this motor running for its lifetime right in front of me. So
mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Yeah, this is called the old boys boat now.
Love it.
All you got to do is be able to sit down on the floor and get yourself back up.
Perfect. Well, we're gonna get some fluids in here and the last few clamps and things, and then we're gonna start her up.
We're going to start it up. The only thing is, we're not starting up in water. Darn it.
Well,
We're still on the beach.
we're getting close.
We're getting close every day.
Right. Keep up the good work.
We'll keep it up. Thank you. Home again.
That's what I always do to him.
What's that?
Tell by
That's what I always do to you.
Yeah.
Just show up, got a camera in his face.
Yeah. Another 3 out of 4.